Boom!
Bang!
Hey, I'm Thundercloud, washing away the garbage, leaving rainbows after rains. Welcome to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. Doug, Lauren, Gladys, Monique, and tonight our females outnumber our males, and everybody out there in YouTube and Facebook world. That's like
two.
I think that's a first. That's a first. Fantastic. And I know, Gladys, you've got something to read. Doug's got something. Lauren's got something. I don't know about you. But no, okay. So I've got some. I think I'm going to actually read your one that you wrote last week and left here. Yeah.
I might have another one.
I really like that one.
Yeah, okay, there, go on.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear you read it.
Yeah. All right, let's begin with, okay, CJ oh, well, actually, before I begin with beginning, we better begin with the real beginning, which is acknowledging the traditional custodians of the land on which we broadcast, and the traditional custodians of land right across this continent called Australia, and acknowledge sovereignty's never been ceded and the continuing connection of the elders past, present and emerging to the land. All right, moving on. CJ Dennis had a very long name, so he shortened it to CJ because otherwise it would have been Clarence, Michael, James, Stanislaus Dennis. Quite long, really. He was born in 1876 and he left the place in 1838. He was famous for writing this kind of weird stuff, and in retrospect I look at it and some of the stuff he writes a lot like Lewis Carroll, but his Glugs of Gosh, and it was it also reminds me of a bit of surrealist poetry and the weirdness of it. Some of the stuff I also write. Like the Glugs of Gosh, or the old Gosh rhyme from the Glugs of Gosh. Let him who is minded to meet with a glug pluck 3 hardy hairs from a rabbit skin rug, blow 1 to the south, 1 to the west, then burn another and swallow the rest. And who shall explain 'tis the talk of a fool? He's a glug of the old Gosh school, and he'll climb a tree if the east wind blows in a casual way, just to show he knows. Now tickle his toes, oh tickle his toes, and don't blame me if you come to blows. The old Gosh rhyme of CJ Dennis. It's a lovely little thing there. All right, look, there's one Lesbia Harford. Didn't live that long, but she wrote some really lovely stuff. This is, I don't know if this is not really some of her loveliest stuff, but it's interesting. She was born in 1891 and she passed in 1927, so quite a fair while away. Yeah, she was an Australian poet, novelist and a political activist. And yes, perhaps, I think I remember reading she did have female lovers. So Lesbia Harford. This one's called Suburban Dames. All day long we sew fine muslin up for you to wear. Muslin that women wove for you elsewhere. 1,000,000 strong. Just like flames insatiable, you eat up all our hours, and sun and loves and talk and flowers. Suburban dames. Yeah. And then this one's also kind of got a bit of derision in it as well. The folk I love. I do hate the folk I love. They hurt so. Their least word and act may be a source of woe. Won't you come to tea with me? Not today. I'm tired, I've been to church, such folks say. All the dreary afternoon I must clutch at the strength to love like them, not too much. Yeah, the folk I love. Yeah. Now, over the last few weeks ago, months ago actually, I've been reading out of Boy Renaissance's Author and Melody, and the subtitle of Author and Melody: Two women fall in love. Wind is on their side, time is not. And that's so there are four voices. It's a sort of a poetic play of four voices: the author, melody, wind, and time. So I've just got to find out where I was up to. I had read Act 1, Act 2 and Act 3, and I was up to Act 4, which is page 47. Wrong direction. Act 4. The golden hours, moments before dusk. Wind follows the lovers through the rustling leaves. The sparrows start to find their shelter. They played together in the woods, danced as they walked. They spoke of every nothingness, and in some moments fought. These moments turned into silences. Their hearts took turn to speak. They told each other everything, but not so much with words, not knowing if their languages were understood or heard. The road became more overgrown, the path became more unclear. But sun tongue spread round every bend, glowed ever bright behind author's ear. Then somewhere in the silences, the two swore they could hear a voice from within thistle distance calling. Turn back now while you can. Forget that you have met. You know not what awaits if you continue in your step. The lovers shook their heads and said, "Hear that? A voice commanding us to put our hearts to bed, as if there does exist the choice to love and just forget." They laughed a feeble laugh and forged ahead, and time still stalked behind, whispering, forgetting mercy's friend, blind lovers never see an end. The sky took in a deeper hue, horizon started bruising, and calls from all the cats of night came out. The carved path came tunnelled, but the bending, thickening pines, the overcast and snarls, cacophonous, loud. "My love," author said, "I fear the dangerous everywhere. A moment back, invincible. What spirits in the air? Her angel locked their hands. Love, I'm not going anywhere. Howls like wailing within trenches, rustling leaves like sweeping sand, and hither-thither lashed wind, hiding between their hands. Blind lovers, time declared, seem deafened now as well. Plug ears to make muteness of unwelcome voices yell. From neath thorn-torn cloak, from sleeves wound round white marble wrist, time folded fingers into earth and forced the world's mantle to split. A crack like shattered glass resounded, lovers' hands near ripped off from their wrists. The deafening quake sent their knees to ground. Wind's plea grew vigorous. Time, I knew 'twas you who spoke. I beg you, please retreat. Whatever monster you've foreseen, I'll help them defeat. Yet if you break with savage mind and you cannot relent, hear me, if you split these two, be ravaged by regret. Between the angels, the laceration carved into the earth, which split with growing fervour ever further. The lovers knelt together, wept, author held confusion, and for the first time melody's golden eyes did waver. My teacher, tearing author wept, how can we fix this shatter? We've done impossible as partners. What difference is this matter? Her lover, with despairing eyes, stayed silent, shook her head before the crack whipped them apart. Melody sang again. My heart grows gold behind your ear, and ever round these pines, shadow shackled, author, I'm not. And on that sound the two halves split, the wind in half as well, and with such separation, trees uprooted, sparrows fell, all once beautiful, sucked of colour, all once booming, now a yelp, all monstrous, now a child's match compared to such hell. Yeah. So, who will I read on? I'll just see how I think I might just leave it there because that just sort of portrays a lovely picture and image, I think, yeah. All right. Well, I was wondering if Gladys would like to come on up.
Me.
Yeah. That down
That down.
All right.
Short things are in here, I tell you. Right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. It's wonderful to have you two girls in tonight over there and Doug back here. And yes, it's a small group, but at any rate, the show must go on. But at any rate, this one, it's by Jeanette Miners of Yass, New South Wales. And I'll just move this out of the way, can see. A mother waits in silence, but the ticking of the clock. She's been waiting for a while now for the turning of the lock. The ever-endless rocking and the rug spread on her knee are the thing that gives her comfort, as now she can see. Loneliness is your only companion when the years have taken toll and time is all you have. so thought the memories you stroll. To visitors are few now and seldom come to call. Their excuse, they have many, she cannot count them all. They all have their own lives and do not have the time to come and sit a while with her. They think she's doing fine. Her thoughts a happy time when her children were at home. She did all visualise that the time they would roam. For she once heard children's laughter as around the house it rang. The sound of happy voices in the air would hang. Many photographs around her, but they're not the real thing. To hug them and to hold them, such joy that would bring. One more visit she would cherish, for this may be the very last. Her time she feels will soon be up, from the world she will pass. Her sad eyes cast down, she looks towards the floor, to the day it'll be all over, but wait is that knocking at the door. Right, that's, yes, not a bad check. James, I'll hand that book to you too, because that can go into the whatever.
Thank you.
I love that. Gladys.
Yes.
Nice.
So yeah, this book here was donated to Gladys from Alan something or other, who lives
Yes, I can't think of
next
his
to
second
Father of
name.
Ducks Lagoon over there. No, I can't think of his other name either.
No.
Alan, no other name. Yeah. So and it will go into the Australian Poetry Library and Archive over there, and we've got like a good collection happening. And if anyone wants to donate poetry books, they're more than welcome. If you find them in op shops, or you've got a collection, or you're a poet and you've got your own poetry books, send them here. And then if they're good, we'll even buy some off you and sell them and retail them here too, which we do.
Yeah.
Well, there's also a Seahorse Medicine Cafe here, so it's the only vegetarian vegan restaurant in all of Gyra. Wow, how about that? Progressive. Yeah, it's probably why no one eats here, because no, they do, they love it. Everyone who actually comes here goes, wow, this food is actually tastes all right. You wouldn't even know it's a vegetarian meal. God! Yeah, I can eat meat. It's like green eggs and ham, you know. It doesn't taste too bad when you try it. All right. Do I need a chair? Okay, so Seahorse Medicine is also the name of my new puppet theatre over there. It's also the name of the future book to be published, and so it's a whole branding thing really, but yeah, it works for me, you know, it will work for me. Right, so I'm just going to read some of these out to you. These are sort of like Seahorse Medicine for Growing Humans, in other words, sort of animal poetry for young people, yeah. The turtle said, turtles live for 100 years, but you'll never ever see a turtle's tears. Even though the turtles are crying, they live in the sea. Their tears are never drying. I was walking along the beach and up a turtle swam and said, I've got a message for you and all the humans. Turtles are dying all through the sea. I've come to the beach so you'll see me dry and I'm crying. My mummy is dead, she choked on a plastic bag, the turtle said. It looked like a jellyfish floating in the sea. My mummy ate it, thought it was yummy. My daddy's got a fishing net stuck around his neck, washed overboard from a trawler's deck. My brother's had enough, he's feeling quite ill, there's no room in his tummy, it's just plastic film. My sister's flippers are wrapped in a fishing line, half the population's gone. Can you see I'm crying? I can't stop it, it's up to you. Tell all the humans about the damage they do from all that waste and plastic pollution. You're smarter than that, please find a solution. You don't need half that stuff you buy, you can't take it with you when you travel or die. Time for humans to reduce the plastic waste, because I'm fed up with this plastic ocean taste. There's one more thing, the turtle said. How would you feel with a bag on your head? Can't swim backwards and in frustration, choked and dying from suffocation. Can't you see? These tears are mine. Do you hear me? All my friends are dying. I said to the turtle, this is what I'll do. I'll tell all my friends, and now I'm telling you. Clean the oceans. Make it like long before, then the turtles will live to 100 or more. Turtles can live for a very long time, but the plastic is killing them and they're dying. If you want your kids to see a turtle too, here's the thing that you can do. Reduce, reuse, repair what you can. Don't litter the earth, be nurturing, human. And if we all work together to make the sea clean, then my crying turtle tears will be just a dream. But if we don't work together to stop the turtle dying, there'll be no turtle left, there'll be no turtles crying. Turtles can live for 100 years, but you'll never ever see a turtle's tears, even though the turtles are crying. They live in the sea, their tears are never drying. I was walking along the beach, and up a turtle swam. Said, I've got a message for you and all the humans. Turtles are dying all through the sea. I've come to the beach so you'll see me dry and I'm crying. My baby's dead. She choked on some plastic, the turtle said. Yeah, I've cried myself when I've done that one. Yeah, that one was written about 4 years ago actually on Stradbroke Island, Minjerribah, and it was inspired because I went down onto the beach and sort of like that high peak of the tide and this small isthmus of water sneaked its way up the beach, up this really long flat beach, and as I looked down at that water flowing on the beach, there was these little bits of plastic all through it. And it was after like those big rains in 2016, you know, and there's so much rubbish gets washed out, and it's from everywhere. So there's not much more I need to say with that, about that. The turtle said enough. This one came to my head from Auntie Pat's niece, who said, Auntie Pat, it makes me mad. Some people are like bowerbirds and that is sad. The bowerbirds, not your mate, who'll take, hoards away the golden blue, the junker mask attracting you. He builds a house with straw and sticks and full of junk and plastic bits of satin bowerbird, electric blue, pegs and pens and lighters too, bits of rope and plastic lids, garbage chucked by little kids. The regent bowerbird is no better, golden yellow plastic treasure, hoarding for a rainy day when floods they come wash shit away, collecting stuff, attracting mates, making babies out the gate. No love there in plastic treasure, the bowerbirds, not so clever. It never used to be this way, collecting plastic junk each day. The bowerbirds once knew better, collecting flowers and fruits as treasure, but now they're buried in a mound of plastic. The bowerbird is just so tragic. Yeah, that was written, that was like 2016, 17. Yeah, I went and visited Auntie Pat, and that's true. Yeah, she said, my niece said, Auntie Pat, some people are like bowerbirds, aren't they? I kind of feel a bit like one here, but like I'm not collecting this stuff. This stuff's a river. Yeah, this stuff's what helps me to stay here to celebrate all the wonderful poets and the nurturing poets and everything, and because that's really all I give a crap about is poetry. Yeah. It's a tragic poet. That's lucky, isn't it? That there's people like me around. There was one more I did want to do for you. If I just find it here, and because I don't have it memorised, which I should have, but that's the reason why I'm doing it here, because it's getting me ready for my Seahorse Medicine puppet poetry pantomime. That's a lot of alliteration. It's even more. Yeah, right. So, the human zoo. All right. Now, there is a book, a kid's book called The Quangle Wangle's Hat. And he has this really huge hat, and he lives at the top of the crumpety tree, and has all these animals live in his hat. So, yeah, that's the thing I mentioned right in the beginning. This is called Human Zoo, and look, like you see, my hair's a bit wet today because I've washed it. Right. Have you heard of the Quangle Wangle at the top of the crumpety tree? He had a very big hat, and many strange animals lived with he. I feel like the Quangle Wangle because I just washed my hair, and I found a bibbity bird had made a nest up there. There was also a cloppity cat as well as a diggity dog. Behind my left ear was an elven elephant as well as a flippity frog. Goliath giraffe had built a home. Huey the hippo lived on my head. I've even an idiot iguana living inside my dreads. Jocko the jackal has left and he found a new home. Took with him Kooky Koala and they built a new home on their own. Morris the mouse has his family too, as well as 999 newts, an ostrich, an octopus, a panda, as well as a octopus. It is very cute. Ricky the rhino is there and a serpent inside of my hair. Tommy the tiger is tricky and lived in my beard hair. I was sitting in the sun drying my wet hair when out of my hair came a sea urchin and also a drop bear. There was Vicky the viper in there and a wombat inside of my hair, as well as a couple of X-Men who were hiding inside of there. There was a yak from the Himalayas and a zany pink zebra too. Today when I washed my dreadlocks I discovered I'm the human zoo. I feel like the Quangle Wangle with animals inside my hair, which is why I wash it, because they all shit in there. It's actually poo in there, the one I've got written down here, but a bit more effect. Yeah. So that's very true. And then later on I'll do Zen and Astra, but I would like to invite Doug on up now.
Am I ready?
Yeah? I don't know, are you?
Yeah, you say it.
Or Lauren. Lauren?
Oh,
Just shut up.
Okay.
Thank you. You're not wrong, so I'm not going to bore you. Boring's terrifying. And yet someone said, I think you said, James, about weird. So if there's a bit of weird in it, it ain't going to be boring. That's my view anyway. No, I don't know what I'm going to do. I've had a very emotional week. You can't pick up things on phones with that camera, can you? A picture? No. I got a picture later. But I had a daughter, I've got a daughter with a mental illness, and she's been in the treatment game for 12 years. Anyway, last week she got exposed to some Aboriginal women who gave her some healing treatment. And my daughter's fairly relaxed with those people. So it's early days, only a few days, but the signs are that I'll show you a photo if you're interested, but yeah, pretty emotional time. It took all of us a few days to recover, I think. It was so powerful. Trauma. So it was mentioned last week, but maybe she's been helped to be relieved from some of the trauma that was identified. Anyway, I know what I'm on about tonight, but stand up. Gladys. Oh, well. Yeah. Sorry, mate, I might just go on. Right there. Yeah, I just want to read a little bit of Henry Lawson. Well, I got nowhere to go. Thank you, John. Well, I got nowhere to go. I revert to Henry. It's my default. And this book of illustrated Henry Lawson is illustrated by one of his brother's grandsons. So the guy who does the paintings is related to Henry Lawson. Excuse me. Okay, this is an explanation of this poem. I'm only going to read a couple of stanzas because I'm only going to need to read the whole poem. Anyway, the name of the poem is called Past Kieran, and it's, I'll read this. One of Lawson's best poems. First appeared, it was accompanied by a full-length black and white sketch of a gaunt bush woman. In the poem, she represents all the haggard women of the bush who arouse such a depth of sympathy in Lawson's mind. So that's for me, you know, this Lawson's, he gets pretty down at times, and yet they say all these poems have a little bit of brightness or a bit of hope in them, or a little bit of sunshine. And today, I mean, yeah, that's the only thing. That's the thing I've got to focus on. I've got to indulge in something which has a little bit of sunshine for me. Maybe others share that. Anyway, after several attempts at a similar figure, the artist, this book, decided to concentrate on the woman's worn face in order to convey his appreciation of the profound pity Lawson felt for women anywhere. Doomed as this bush woman was to a life of hopeless physical drudgery and spiritual barrenness. And the poems here on page 66, and there's no bloody rules here, so I can walk around. Mm-hmm. So I'll just show you briefly. That's the painting of the woman's face.
Oh, right.
Huh? She's the one he's writing the poem about. Excuse me. Okay. Past Kieran is the name of the poem. I'll just read a couple of stanzas. 'Twas 10 years first, then came the worst, all for a barren clearing. I thought my heart would burst when first my man went shearing. He's driving in the great northwest, I don't know how he's faring, for I, the one that loved him best, have grown to be past caring. Past waiting and past wearing, the girl that waited long ago has lived to be past caring. Last stanza coming up. My eyes are dry, I cannot cry, I've got no heart for breaking, but where it was in days gone by, a dull and empty aching. My last boy ran away from me, I know my temper's wearing, but now I only wish to be beyond all signs of caring. Past wearying or caring, past feeling and despairing. And now I only wish to be beyond all signs of caring. That's not a happy poem. And you know, I like the idea that he's speaking up. Well, okay, well, it's not woman's liberation, but it's man's deflation. Is that sensible? Mm-hmm. Get the patriarchal party out of me and speak up for the women. I like that idea. I'm thinking of my mum.
Well, Henry Lawson's mother was one of the...
Say again?
Henry Lawson's mother was known as the mother of women's suffrage in Australia.
Oh yeah, and he and his mum weren't real close, but she was
but
doing
she
her
instilled with him.
Yeah, thanks for reminding me of that. Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh, I don't know, this is just from my experience and I hope I'm not preaching at you. And I said to Gladys out there before, I like the idea, someone did it, I don't know if Ashley did it the other day, but he's going to read a poem and he just got my book and he opened it, random. Let the Creator or let the universe help me. Gets me out of the equation. Self-will. Excuse me. I don't want to punish me too much. Anyway, here's one which I did, if you like, a God job and let it come open on page 95. And I think James knows this guy, he's met him. Aboriginal poet Samuel Watson from Southside Brisbane.
I've met his dad.
You've met his dad, okay. And his dad's passed, because that's in the book, yeah. All right, I like his poetry and it's powerful stuff for me. So anyway, I opened it up here. It's called Floodlight Sonatas. I've heard the Moonlight Sonata, but this ain't the Moonlight Sonata. Here we go. White spark backdrop, off the form seduced by blackness. I hate travelling at night, unable to stomach the singing of the lonely road or the whispers of a dead man's mouth harp in the breeze, bringing on premonition of sudden engine failure, and how the halogen lamps ruin the night and sometimes expose the memories you're running from. I see the faces I dare not speak of in focus, as my ritual humming of nursery rhymes keeps in time with a pounding in my chest, desperate until I reach my destination, that the hairy hands in the back seat won't materialise from my retrospective sins and take a deserved piece of me, or merely just a taste. He talks from the heart. All these people talk from the heart, to me. Okay. No, excuse me. I got one little fellow, and this is just something, I lived in the States for a while, and I'm just saying with my daughter too, the exposure to the First Nation people last week was so powerful to me, and my daughter, of course. I have some exposure to First Nation, if you want to call them that, or Indigenous American people, and last just a little book I had at home, but I just want to read a little bit of their stuff, because I mean, somehow we're all, and poetry I hear here and everything, we're all reaching out maybe to get in touch with the earth or listen to what the nature's saying to us. And some of these people, they don't just talk it, they live it. Some of these Indigenous people. Anyway, what can I learn? Anyway, here I'll just read one page. From Luther Standing Bear, 1868 to 1937. The Sioux Chiefs, S-I-O-U-X. Anyways, his quote. The American Indian is of the soil, whether it be the region of forests, plains, pueblo, or mesa. It fits into the landscape, for the hand that fashioned the continent also fashioned the man for his surroundings. He once grew as naturally as the wild sunflower. He belongs just as the buffalo belong. Amen. Yeah, that's about all I can find, mate.
Okay.
I was very lazy, I didn't write nothing, but maybe next week.
Oh, it's all very appreciated, Doug. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, okay, well, since Doug was did this Henry Lawson's, I guess it's the most feminist poem, I don't know, Henry Lawson's empathetic poem for women, or for that particular woman. Yeah, I'll do one from his mum, Louisa Lawson. She was known as the mother of womanhood suffrage, born in 17th of February in 1848 in Goulgong, New South Wales. Married life made her a feminist. This next poem might explain a little bit about that. And she spent 35 years of her life fighting for women's rights. In 1902, when Womanhood Suffrage League of New South Wales celebrated the victory at last of obtaining the vote for women, Louisa was referred to as the mother of womanhood suffrage, a great tribute among so many other women who had worked and fought for the right for women to vote. Henry had, from what I gather, a bit of a sort of a loveless, traumatic upbringing with, as well, which possibly led to him being that alcoholic that he was. But we'll see where we go with this. This is called A Woman's Love.
Is this a Henry poem?
No, this is Louisa's mum.
She wrote a poem?
Yeah, she was a poet too. Louisa Lawson. Yeah.
Okay.
A woman's love. I cared not what their failings were, thy faults I would not see. I only knew I loved thee well, and thought thee true to me. I shunned amid life's busy crowd those who would defame, for oh, it pained a trusting heart to hear men idly blame. I would not heed when meddling friends would whisper aught of thee. I thought not one so seeming true could e'er a traitor be. And then they knew no of thy tone, oh, of love and fond caress, that would my soul responsive move with its great tenderness, nor how my hungry, aching heart craved the kind world or smile that did my thoughts despondent groan from my sad life beguile. They knew not, nor mortal shall, all thou hast been to me, but I forgive thee all because thou once wert true to me.
Wow.
So you give a story of betrayal there, so you can see what's going on in her life, how she felt like, well, they have been left at home to do all the dishes, it's time to get the vote. And then, him having that empathy for that particular woman in that painting too, so fantastic. And that's just some of the wonderful things that we get out of poetry, seeing the world how it was in different times and from different perspectives of different people. Now I'm going to invite Lauren up in a moment, but I'm going to do a couple here before I do of my own that I've written just this week. Oh yeah, this week. But where will I start? From the start? Okay, we'll start with a joke. Why don't professional wrestlers have sex the night before a fight? Because they don't like each other. Yeah, we're about to have a fight, aren't they? All right. Okay, so good. We got a joke. We got a few smiles happening there. All right. I see on Wish the other day you can get a pillow with The Rock's face, Dwayne Johnson on it. Like you can sit on The Rock's face if you want. Yeah. I thought I'd buy one for most of my old friends. Yeah.
I thought you were going to say one for yourself.
Oh, no. If I did that, I'd cut a hole in where the mouth is. Oh, that's sick. Just so would Rocky.
Wow.
Just oozing out of his mouth. Because he couldn't swallow, it's just a pillow. This is the adults only version, right? Okay. I heard a whang. Secondly, I heard a bang. I tried to look inside my ears, gave my eyeballs tears. Then I heard a whack, then a boom, crack, smack. Whang, bang, whack, boom, crack, smack. At first, it was exciting, as my body's full of lightning and I control my energy, also known as chi. Snap, crackle, pop. It's no trouble. You can call me a rice bubble. Hear the crack of electric arc, it's my inner lightning spark. Breathe deep, I'm an energy farmer, I'm a farmer of chi and prana. That's it. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, okay, here's another sort of, like a bit of a Zen Tao Buddhist kind of whatever. Yang, bang, masculine thing. Pointed, intrusive, penetrating. Yin, sing, feminine thing. Accepted, expansive, embracing. So
Wow.
something simple, yeah. Sometimes simple is just as powerful, eh? Look, I would like to invite Lauren up now. Welcome, Lauren. Lauren's travelled all the way from, well, Gyra Central.
That's all right.
Yeah, you can introduce yourself. Yeah.
Sure. I'll just take it off.
Yeah, no worries.
Thank you. So I'm from Sydney. I'm doing my prac in Gyra, so it's a really different experience to what I've been used to.
Yeah.
Having 300 students in K to 12 as opposed to 1,000 in year 7 to 12 is what I'm used to. So the poem that I'm not very good at poetry, but I like to teach it a lot because I think it, like Jen said, opens your eyes to the experience of different people and you get to share so much more and through storytelling and everything. So my auntie in Tasmania writes poetry and she likes to write about what she's surrounded by. So the poem I'm going to read is called Mountain Moods.
Yeah, what?
Mountain Moods.
No, which one?
Moods.
Muse.
Moods.
Moods.
Sorry about me here.
Oh, talk louder. Sorry. Too zen.
I don't want to miss it.
Mount Wellington, part of our lives, dominating the views of Hobart, homes, and the conversations of the weather conscious. Mountains clear, fine today. The hour, weather, seasons control its emotions. Light and shadow flicker like expressions across its face. In the harsh summer sun, it is an ancient countenance, grey and dry, full of character with the scars of its ages. In autumn, sunrises spotlight it, golden red, radiant, above the silhouetted town. In winter, it broods darkly under snow clouds, lifting to reveal a brilliant white mask, spectacular. In spring, the sun shines softly, kindly, so that it appears opaque blue, patterned with wisps of white cloud, trailing like elusive veils. At night, black, monstrous, it crouches primeval against the starlit sky, a new moon glowing. Sometimes it tires of the show, the constant watching. Then it draws a low, heavy scream of cloud. It's as if it has never been, and its absence puzzles tourists passing through. They have heard it that Mount Wellington dominates the Hobart scene. My Auntie Judy's more famous for her haiku poetry, so she's got a few books out. Judith Johnson. Stormy night, who is it banging at my door? Cold gust, my neighbour invites children to run through her leaves. Across grassy paddocks, a ripple of cloud shadows. Thank you.
Your auntie's name Judith Johnson.
That's right. Yeah, Judith E. Johnson.
Judith E. Johnson. Well,
Wow.
you better send her. You
Some
better
books
send her the
out.
link
Oh,
tonight.
Yeah,
You have to send her the link, or I'll send you the YouTube link too.
Yeah.
Check that out on Australian Poetry Hall of Fame. You can check up on all the past episodes of Wednesday Words and Chillin' Tuesday there on the Australian Poetry Hall of Fame channel on YouTube. All right, what have I got for you to finish the night with? Well, I'm going to do a couple more of my my this week's poetry, and then one of an oldie. This one's called Kick in the Guts. Shit happens.
Shit happens.
Man up. Don't be a weak little fuck up. Someone needs to tell you grief doesn't last forever. Shit happens. Man up. Don't be a weak little fuck up. Take responsibility for your actions. Take responsibility for your feelings. Shit happens. Man up. Being a bitch slap pussy sucks. Compromise yourself and be resentful, or true to yourself, self-righteous and grateful. Shit happens. Man up. No one likes a whinger. They suck. Pull your big boys' undies up. Build a bridge. Get over it. Eat cement. Harden up. Shit happens. Man up. Because you're a weak, entitled little fuck. To grow, learn and change, sometimes we need to get kicked in the guts. So, shit happens, man up, bite your tongue, and shut the fuck up. Okay, that's a rough one, but sometimes you've got to be rough with people to get change, unfortunately. It's harsh lessons. Yeah, lessons can be harsh, and the realisation that not everything in life is benevolent. There is malevolence. Thanks, Jordan Peterson. No, actually, I got that one from Nietzsche. Yeah, but he did send me on the path. Jordan Peterson sent me on the path of studying Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche, interesting philosopher, psychologist. What else have I got? Okay. Well, 2 years ago, I planted strawberries. Okay, this is a strawberry quatrain. 2 years ago, I planted these, and now I've got a handful of ripe strawberries. They're small, but they're super tasty. The best is grown in patience and never hasty.
Very nice.
Zen cycles. I want to. I'll put this into perspective, right? Yin yang, not yin and yang. Yin yang. Yin yang has masculine energy, feminine energy, but we can attach a couple of verbs to them: the be and the do. So, in one stage, you're in that being, the creation, in the wholeness of everything, you're being. But in being, so the meditation, you're also doing, you're doing nothing. But then, you have the thought, you have the manifestation of the idea, but nothing happens unless you do. So you've got to plan, you've got to take action to achieve that. And in the doing, there is also the being of the doing. So here we go, this is called Zen cycles. Intention requires action and... Sorry, let me begin again. Intention requires effort and action for actualization. Purpose, dedication, focus, reminder of intention, plans, reaction, habituation, mindfulness. Be becomes do, becomes be, becomes do. Intention without action was only a dream, was going to never did. A dream unenacted is hid. That's it. And I've got Oh, I'll do this one before I go and put the music on, because the last one's got music all right to go with it, and it's pretty and it's lovely. Oh, it's all for, yeah, it's like for princesses and fairies and stuff, and girls and whatever, and boys who like fairy stories like me, because I wrote it. Being I, myself with me, living my life with authenticity, I will be all that I will be, loving, peaceful, creatively focused on my own mastery. There will be times I won't be my best. I must clean up what I've missed. Learn from and rise to every test, lead by example for the best, clean and feather my own nest. Conquer mountains on my quest from the east to the west, constructive and destructive nest, be of assistance and not a pest. Ignite my inner fire, always aspire to lift myself higher, never retire, be one to inspire, be a high flyer. I am myself and me, I am all that I be, living, loving, authentically, truthfully, inspirationally, synchronistically, intuitively, I, myself, and me,